Hello, wonderful brothers and sisters. As promised in my last video, today we'll be continuing our talk about the pulsar codes of the Dreamspell Calendar. If you haven't watched the last video called Pulsars, be sure to do so, otherwise this video isn't going to make much sense. Pulsars are to the fourth dimension what atoms are to the third dimension. They extend the mind synchronically over different timing sequences. The structure of wave spells, the 13-day cycle from which the pulsars arise, define a fourth-dimensional geometry of time which connects different points of the wave spell over time. They are the mechanism through which dynamic exchanges take place during a wave spell. As a reminder of how the pulsars look like, I'm going to use as an example the wave spell that we are currently in, the wave spell of the yellow star. And by the way, we are in the last wave spell cycle of the Tzolk'in, and on the 14th of December, we end this cycle with a total solar eclipse and the kin of the yellow cosmic sun. On the 15th of December, we enter a new Tzolk'in spin with a red magnetic dragon. Both the 14th and the 15th of December are galactic activation portal days, so stay aware and remain present and grounded in case anything that needs to be purified is brought to the surface in order to be healed and released. To understand what galactic activation portal days are, you can go and watch the video called The Gap Days. So going back to the wave spell of the yellow star, all these geometries that arise are the pulsars. As explained in the previous video, the four fundamental dimensional pulsars are 1D, 2D, 3D, and 4D pulsars. The interaction of the three triangles gives us the physical realm of reality. But actually, these three sets of pulsars, which compose the first three dimensions, function as a single whole, and they are part of the fourth dimensional tetrahedron which contains and informs them all. The tetrahedron is one of the main geometrical forms found in crystalline structures, and it is the carrier of information and the converter of energy from the third to the fourth dimension. The pulsar codes represent an interdimensional 13-tone cosmology beyond the third dimension, which contains the electric composition of galactic beams. I speak about galactic beams in the video the 21st of December 2012, Entering the Golden Age. These galactic beams are sent from the Hunapku, the cosmic central sun described by the Mayans as the original point of unity from which all creation expanded. The Hunapku sends these galactic beams through our sun and all other suns within the galaxy to all the planets around them. The electric composition of galactic beams is also known as the G-force or the fifth force. The G-force represents the power of the radiant radiation as time. Or to keep it more visually, G-force represents the rays of time, the force which synchronizes the entire universe. It's consciously focused radian, and radian is the galactic interdimensional binding fluid. It's the base of electricity. Electricity is actually G-force radian, and a wave spell is the base of cosmic electricity. In terms of our third-dimensional science, a pulsar is described as a fast-rotating neutron star which sends out high-frequency radio waves. These neutron stars are in fact interdimensional intersections which penetrate the veil of third-dimensional consciousness. At these intersections, the G-force emerges in a ray. These galactic rays are triggered all at once and have alternating periods of strong or weak activation. What our scientists define as neutrons, neutrinos, photons, quarks, and so on are only different aspects of the G-force which leaves visible traces in the field of third-dimensional consciousness. When activated correctly, the G-force connects the second dimension of the senses, defined by electricity, with the fourth dimensional structure of time. The cosmology of pulsars is the cosmology of interdimensional creation through universal telepathy, which is the electricity of the fourth dimension. It's the intelligence factor which informs the G-force or galactic rays. All rays are a fifth dimensional force. So besides these four-dimensional pulsars that we discussed about in the previous video, we also have 5 types of interdimensional overtone pulsars. These overtone pulsars are created by the association of the dot and bar mathematical notation of the Mayans. So I'm going to change the color coding of the wavespell so I can visually explain what I mean by this. The first overtone pulsar would be the magnetic tone, the rhythmic tone, and the spectral tone, which represent all the lunar tones which have the one dot, forming the magnetic time overtone pulsar. Then, the second overtone pulsar is represented by all the lunar tones which have the 2 dots, so that means lunar, resonant, and crystal tones, giving us the life lunar overtone pulsar. Next, we have the third overtone pulsar composed by the electric, galactic, and cosmic tones, so that means all the lunar tones with the 3 dots, and they form the electric sense overtone pulsar. Then we move towards the fourth overtone pulsar, connecting the lunar tones with the 4 dots, so that means self-existing and solar, and here we have the mind-time overtone pulsar. And finally, we have the fifth overtone pulsar connecting the bars, meaning the overtone and the planetary tones, creating the time-life overtone pulsar. So, while the 4-dimensional pulsars define the synchronically interconnected 4 dimensions, what the overtone pulsars add is the cross-dimensional time structures. Using our example of the yellow star wavespell, the first magnetic time overtone pulsar consists of the yellow star, red skywalker, and white mirror bridging the 4th, 1st, and 2nd dimensions. Then, in the lunar life overtone pulsar, we have the red moon, white wizard, and blue storm bridging the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd dimension. Then, in the electric sense overtone pulsar, we find the white dog, blue eagle, and yellow sun bridging the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th dimension. Moving forward to the 4th mind-time overtone pulsar, we have the blue monkey and the yellow warrior, unifying mind with time. And finally, in the 5th time-life overtone pulsar, the yellow human and the red earth bridge the 4th and 1st dimension. You'll notice that the overtone pulsars actually help us find the Earth families within the wavespell. If you're not sure what Earth families are, go and check out the videos The Earth Families and The Earth Families Part 2. So, the first overtone pulsar reveals to us the signal family. The second overtone pulsar reveals the gateway family. Third overtone pulsar reveals the polar family. The 4th overtone pulsar reveals the cardinal family, and the 5th overtone pulsar reveals the core family. Obviously, this changes with each wavespell. So, if we add together all the lines of the overtone pulsars, they add up to 11. But if we move back to the 4th dimensional pulsars and we also connect all the gates and towers of a wavespell together, this gives us 15 lines or vertices. 11 plus 15 equals 26. 26 is a fractal of the 260 days of the Tzolk'in, the sacred Mayan calendar, which are also a fractal of the 26,000-year cycle which our solar system makes around the cosmic central sun, the Hunabku. The codes of the Dreamspell create themselves over and over and over again, back and forth from the smallest part to the whole and back again. This whole galactic calendar is based on the principle of fractals. A fractal carries the ability to scale up or down without changing the proportionality of its value. Wavespells are a dynamic, universally adaptable, self-generating, and self-circulating cosmic fractal. The 26 lines or vertices between the pulsars define all the possible relations of the tones to each other in their dimensional and interdimensional frequencies. The principle of Zuvuya infuses all the wavespell harmonics in the entire pulsar cosmology. Zuvuya is the Mayan word for memory circuit or the interdimensional thread, which works on a collective and individual level. It connects equally to the past as well as to the future, but this is a topic for another video. For now, I feel like I've given you enough information as it is. I know this can feel a little bit overwhelming and hard to understand, but like I said, the best way to understand pulsars is by studying the wavespell. So draw out a wavespell or send me a message so I can send you the layout for the wavespell and connect the pulsars and the overtone pulsars together. Just by drawing this out, information and insight can arise. So follow the colors of the solar seals within the wavespell to connect the dimensional pulsars and follow the mathematical notation of the lunar tones to connect the interdimensional overtone pulsars. So, if you have any other further questions about the pulsars or the Dreamspell, or if you're interested in decoding your galactic signature and discovering more about the gifts and the shadow aspects that are within you, send me a message either on my Facebook page or on my email. Until the next time, wishing you a harmonious day and a transformative new Tzolk'in spin. In Lak'Ech.